You're listening to the Goal Digger Podcast, episode number 143. Today, I am answering your biggest questions all about photography. Now, if you're not a photographer, I challenge you to stay on this episode because I'm going to break down a lot of the ways that I grew my business when I was starting out and I had no idea what I was doing. If you've ever heard the story of how I bought a $300 Craigslist camera and now have turned it into a seven-figure empire, today's episode is going to break down some of the how that happened and also just answer some questions for all my photographers out there. I am so excited about this show. And before we dive into it, I want to tell you about an upcoming webinar that I am leading for my photographers. Now, if you are wondering how you can fill your calendar, I want to share my 3 biggest secrets in order to help you do just that. I'm going to be leading 5 different webinars that will be live, and it's all about 3 simple marketing hacks to fill your photography calendar. You just have to go to photowebinar.com to register and save your seat. This is a photography specific training. However, the show today is for everyone. Again, head to photowebinar.com, and I'm going to be walking you through 3 simple marketing hacks that are going to help you to fill your photography calendar. I am so excited about these trainings. I am so excited about today's show, and I think it is time to dive on in.
You're listening to the Goal Digger Podcast, where we firmly believe that work doesn't have to feel like work. Self-made millionaire and marketing guru Jenna Kutcher will help you redefine what success looks like. It's time to hear from the experts, listen in on honest conversations, and learn the best tips and tricks that helped others pave their own way and craft their dream career. If you're ready to dig in, do the work, and tackle your biggest goals, you're in the right place. Here's your host, educator, photographer, and mac and cheese lover, Jenna Kutcher.
Shout out to Weebly for supporting this episode of the Goal Digger Podcast. Weebly is more than just a beautiful website builder. It can help you finally start your business. Go to Weebly.com/goaldigger to get 15% off of your first purchase and start building a successful online business. That's Weebly.com/goaldigger. Now let's jump into today's show. All right, let's do this. So if you didn't know, photography was the start of my crazy entrepreneurial journey. I've always been drawn to it, and I still remember all of the questions I had. I mean, I didn't know what the little numbers on the lenses meant. I didn't know what a RAW file was or a JPEG was. I didn't know anything. And I am entirely self-taught and have learned so much over the last 7 years. And I truly believe that secrets are no fun unless you're busy sharing them. And so I want to let you in on how I took a Craigslist camera and turned it into a full-blown career. Now, I fielded your questions from both the Goal Digger Podcast Insiders Facebook group and our Goal Digger Instagram. And if you're not hanging out on those accounts, you are totally missing out. Now, I am still letting you call the shots, and I'm fully covering all of the nitty-gritty details, but in a more focused, topic-specific way. And so I'm so excited about today's show. And without further ado, let's dive on into the questions. Danny Wanger says, I am so pumped to hear this podcast. I have been so inspired by your content to start taking photography more seriously and would really love to hear the story from the $300 Craigslist camera to 6 figures and beyond. Now, when I first started, I had no ambitions of becoming a photographer. I didn't really think I would ever be an entrepreneur, but I found myself in a corporate job that I didn't really love. I loved being good at things. I loved moving up this ladder, but pretty soon I realized I don't want to keep climbing. I don't want to spend the rest of my life climbing when all it looked like was more work, more time away from my husband, more hours on the road. And so I found that I was creative. I just wasn't using that anymore. I was working 10 hours a day. I recently found this document on my computer that I'd wrote about how thankful I was, but it was about when I was working in my office and how tired I was and stressed I was. And it brought me right back to that. And so I actually bought a camera because I wanted to be creative again. I had zero desires to become a photographer. I wanted to document our stages of life as we were planning our wedding and going through that process. And that turned into a business. So I started taking pictures. I started putting myself out there and just putting my pictures out there without any marketing, without any pitches. And I realized, oh, maybe I should start a blog. And so I started a free WordPress blog, started putting stuff up there, and I realized I really like this. And then Drew's brother got married in